Hey LinkedIn colleagues, this is Dave Nolan with 5 Minute Matters. What do? I'm the dream builder for Arizona Living. Today we're going to talk about insurance. In this case, State Farm Insurance, which has the market share here in Anthem and does a wonderful job. We're going to ask the professional who's been here in Anthem for 20 years about key issues you should look at when purchasing a new home and also getting your insurance. In the event that you're not buying a new home, you'll still need this information to protect yourself in the event that something unlikely happens to your home you're currently occupied in. Let's go talk to Nanette now. Okay, hey LinkedIn friends. As I mentioned, I'm here today in Anthem, Arizona with 5 Minute Matters. And we're about to talk about the most important part after the purchase is made on a home, and that has to deal with insurance. And if you're like me, dealing with this issue on insurance, maybe not as fun, but clearly necessary. And so I'm with a resident subject matter expert here in Anthem who's developed the best insurance firm in our great community, State Farm. I'd like to introduce Nanette for you, and she's going to cover some basics about homeowners insurance. And at the end of it, if you have further questions, as always on 5 Minute Matters, we'll follow up with you and get those answers. So Nanette, it's great to be with you today. And I've learned a lot about you in the last few moments, but I also know you as the couple of years that I've been in Anthem by reputation, which precedes you. Can you just tell the viewers a little bit about what you've done and what you've built here with State Farm?
Yes, Dave. We've been here, my agency started in December of 2000. We started in the Safeway Shopping Center 20 years ago, and we've moved to this location about 7 or 8 years ago. And we've been very involved in our community from the get-go. Our biggest trademark is our Mardi Gras fundraiser that we do every year that helps a family in need here in our community.
Right. So the point of it is that Nanette's very involved in the community, and when we were talking about insurance, we had an option of choosing maybe over the internet or a local firm. Because you're here and you've been here 20 years, what would you recommend for a buyer of insurance, and why is buying local important?
Well, we feel at our agency, buying local is very important because we give back to our community, but more so, you develop a relationship with somebody, you get to know them personally.
Yes. And
we ask all the right questions, and if you're 1-800 number, you may not get to know somebody on a personal level.
And somebody,
that's what we like.
And somebody as pleasant as Nanette also, plus the free coffee was wonderful.
Right.
Okay, we've talked briefly that buying a policy is more than just paying for what that building might cost if it was to be destroyed. You talked, when you spoke with me, about liability. Can you briefly tell the audience about why you want to analyze liability and how important that is when you make a decision on selecting home insurance?
Right, Dave. So the most important, we were talking earlier, of course you want to insure your property, the building structure, for adequate for replacement cost and construction cost. But the most important thing on a homeowner's or portion of the policy is your liability portion of the policy. Like we spoke before, when we sit down with clients, we go over all of their assets. We want to know how much is your home worth, how much equity do you have in your home, do you have assets tied up in your automobile, boats. Look at your savings and your checking account and your 401k and your IRAs. You want to.
So we're going to take a lot of information in, but the purpose is not to be nosy. It's about, in the event that you have a lawsuit against you, we want to make sure you're covered.
Yes.
Sounds logical to me.
Yep.
Also now, as we swing towards other issues with insurance, we're subject to a lot of man-made catastrophes. Recently we've had fires. Fires are part of the desert living. If someone's going to have to make a claim, what do you recommend to them so that they're not in that unenviable position that I thought I would get and you say you will get? How do you mitigate that to come to closure so everything in that house besides the structure is really covered well?
Right. Well, a good idea, like we talked about before, is to take a video of everything in your home, your
Take a
personal
video.
property.
Good idea.
Right? You can list high dollar items if you have to get serial numbers, like if you have firearms, you want to have all that written down. So that way at claims time, you do have a resource to say, yes, I did own this, right? You want to open your cabinet, your closets, go through everything so you have an inventory of your personal items.
Good idea.
That way you don't miss anything.
Hey, I can say I can't even imagine what I have up in the attic. I don't even know.
I
I know it's worth something, but I don't know what it is.
Right?
All right, final question. In the event that we have a catastrophe, you mentioned one of the big benefits as we started was having an insurance executive that's local. And you also talked about when that insurance adjuster comes in, what role do you play with your customer to help make this whole terrible situation on claims more pleasant?
Right? So we help them, guide them to turn in their claim, to get all the information from the contractor. If they get estimates, and we send that to the claims office, and then the claims folks get involved at that point, and then they'll meet with contractors to make sure they're on the same page. And if missing information, then they get together and make sure we're on the same page as far as estimate goes. That way we'll make sure we're putting our customer back whole.
So bottom line, at the end of the day, you want to have that 911 call to you
Yes.
for help through the entire claims process.
Right.
And your goal at the end of it is to have a satisfied customer.
Yes.
And after 20 years, I think and I know for sure that you have a lot of satisfied customers here in Anthem.
We like to think so. We love our customers and love our community.
Well, thank you. If you have any other questions, we'll be putting that on the board. You can contact Nanette or you can talk to myself and we will get back to you. This is Dave Nolan with 5 Minute Matters, and I'm the Dream Builder for Arizona Living. We look forward to next time.